Okay, hey everyone. Welcome to another Extra Chill Tuesday at 11. Glad you're all here. There are a couple things coming up in the near future that I want to let you all know about. First of all, if you have friends who don't meditate or who are looking to brush up on their meditation practice, we just started an intro class. And it meets on Wednesday nights from 7 to 8. And it's technically a drop-in class, but class number 2 meets tomorrow night, and that's sort of the last one where you can drop in and kind of have any idea what's going on for the rest of the time. So if you've been wanting to brush up on the fundamentals, or if you have a friend who is wanting to kind of get familiar with the fundamentals, tomorrow night, Wednesday night, 7 to 8. We meditate for 15 minutes guided, so it's a pretty accessible sit for anyone who's looking to develop a practice or refresh their practice. So that's tomorrow night, Wednesday night. And then this weekend, we have a psychedelic double feature. So on Saturday night, we have the event that got us kicked off Eventbrite, and it's sold out with a wait list. So if you're interested in this event, get on the wait list. I imagine some people who sign up for like a psychedelic event on a Saturday night won't show up. So, but definitely don't just like show up here expecting to buy a ticket at the door because it is like full with a wait list. It's cool. Hopefully we'll have them back. It's the New York Psychedelic Sangha people, and they're doing a thing called a bardo bath. So it's a death meditation and then improvised music. And we're all going to lie on the floor and like listen to that. And there will not be free cannabis tincture available because if there was, we would be getting kicked off of Eventbrite.
So you got to kick out Eventbrite.
Yeah, we're going to figure out. There's got to be some kind of middle path. So if you can't get into that, if you didn't sign up for that, on Friday night, we have Doc Kelly from the New York City Psychedelic Sangha, and he's going to be here in conversation with Lama Mike Crowley, who wrote the book Secret Drugs of Buddhism. There's a copy of that book on the coffee table, and Shulgin wrote the intro to it. If you know who she is, that tells you a lot. And he's going to be here on Friday night, and that is not yet sold out. It's filling up pretty quickly, but there are still tickets for that. So if you're looking for something to do on Friday night that's still in the psychedelic space, be here. It's going to be really fun. And that is all for now. Thank you, Chandra.
Thank you. I have a couple announcements before we dive into our practice, which is that I just put on my website a retreat that I'm organizing with the help of Kevin at Mount Madonna in February next year on my book material. So it's called Embodying Tara. And we will do meditation, we'll learn her mantras, we'll do yoga and dyads, another kind of go be in nature. It's a beautiful retreat center with a lot of cool history. That's President's Weekend. So if you're curious about it, you can find it on my website, chandraeaston.com, easy. And you'll find all the details there. And you can sign up if you're interested. And then I'm also returning to Esalen right after Christmas, actually on Christmas Day. So those folks who want to get away from family during the holidays, there's a lot of us, by the way, December 25th. So you can open up presents Christmas morning and then pack it up and head like, bye, you guys clean up. Esalen from December 25th to the 31st. And that's called Releasing into Presence. So it's my broader theme of my teaching, and it's a wonderful place if you haven't been before. And if you sign up early, you can get the lodgings you like, get the pricing you like, and then, of course, you can apply for scholarships, which I've heard are made available. And if you get on, I think if you ask early enough, you're probably pretty likely to get that if you need it. Esalen.org. Again, that's on my website too. So those are the main things. And then we're going to have a book signing here on December 16th, right? Yeah. So we'll do guided meditation, a talk, Q&A, and then I'll sign books. So make it fun and festive for Christmas. You can buy the books for presents for your family if you think people are interested in that. It could be a gift idea. December 16th. It'll be like in the early evening, like around 6:30 or so, right? Yeah, something like that. Okay. All right, so let's do our prayer at the beginning of class. We do our Narayani prayer. It's on the handout at the very top. If you need to use that, you can. From the shloka or prayer number 12, to the divine goddess in her many forms, as Narayani in this shloka, this stanza. And there's a translation for you below, so we won't spend time doing that tonight. Let's close our eyes and take some deep breaths and ground into the present moment in our body and the breath. And take a moment to call on all those energies, those guides, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, angels, ancestors who have supported you and in some way contributed to you being here in this very moment with this very breath right now. And in your own way, feel their blessings enter into the crown of your head and flood your body with love, with healing energy, blessings. Feeling that support. And open your heart to the blessings of the Great Mother, especially through Narayani, but also we'll pray to her in the form of Pragya Paramita next. So we're opening to that feeling of the womb of totality, the genetrix of the awakened state, the protectress of all beings. And we'll do 11 repetitions of the Narayani prayer. If you need to, you can open your eyes now and read. I'll do line by line. You can repeat after me for the melody and pronunciation, and then we'll do 11 reps together. Sharanagata dinarta, Sharanagata dinarta, Paritrana parayane, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute, Narayani namostute. Together. Sharanagata dinarta, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinarta, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinarta, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinarta, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinarta, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinarta, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti hare devi, Narayani namostute. Sharanagata dinarta, Paritrana parayane, Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane. Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane. Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane. Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane. Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. Sharanagata Dinartha Paritrana Parayane. Sarvasyarti Hare Devi Narayani Namostute. And now I'd like to teach you this mantra, which is the first mantra to appear within Buddhism. It's offered at the end of the Heart Sutra, which was written, they think, around 300 to 500 CE. And before that, mantra was not so much, we don't know. There's not a lot of evidence of mantra being recited in Buddhism. So the Pragya Paramita, which is how you pronounce that word, that's her name, but it also means perfection of wisdom. This Pragya Paramita mantra is to be found at the end of the Heart Sutra, okay? And sometimes it appears with tadyata, which means thus it was said. Sometimes it's only shown with om. Sometimes it's just only tadyata. So you'll see different versions of it. And pragya, so pragya means wisdom. Pra means profound, same root as Indo-European, right? So profound, also periphery. So it also means like all-encompassing. So it can be deep, but it can also be vast. Yeah. And then paramita literally means gone to the other shore. Para, again, is like going far. Mita, to the other shore, having gone. So what this is often translated as, it's not a great translation, but it's called the perfection of wisdom. So people translated in the early days paramita. I think, I'm not remembering all my diacritics. I think it's like that. Paramita, probably. So pragya paramita. Paramita. Now I'm just like, oh, I don't think that. Whatever. So it means gone to the other shore, which was interpreted as nothing else to do, nowhere else to go. You're there. You've arrived. It's perfect. You are complete just as you are. Your journey is done. You've reached the other shore. You are liberated, enlightened. And so it is that wisdom, that deep knowing. What's interesting is jna here is the same Indo-European root as GNA and also KNA, right? Or KN, to know, or gnosis, right? So I could just do this. So we see this also in our language, and that means, so jna means to know. There are also goddesses called I think it's the 8 or the 10 jnas. It's the 10 goddesses, the wisdom goddesses in Hindu tradition, early Tantra also. So it's a deep knowing. Prajna means deep knowing. And you can say prajna, it's an easier way to pronounce. So prajna paramita or prajna, it's a little more accurate. Prajna, that's like a G. Prajna paramita. You want to try? Prajna paramita. Okay, good. So this is a mantra honoring Pragya Paramita as an experience, as a state of being, but also later in the tantric period as a goddess. So it's a very cool, very cool. I wrote a paper on this a long time ago for my teacher training with Tara Mandala. We all had to write a 20-page paper, and we had to pick the topic out of a hat. That's how Lama Tsultrim gave us the topics. And I got Pragya Paramita, and I was like, yes. She picked me. So as the perfection of wisdom, when you think, if you were to genderize it or assign the perfection of wisdom, which is emptiness, by the way, just let you in on the secret, it's emptiness. That direct realization of emptiness is the experience of perfection of wisdom. But if you were to give it a gender, they say it would be a feminine gender, because emptiness, shunyata, right, which is the ultimate protection that we're going to talk about later, is like the pregnant zero. It has the capacity to give rise to all manner of appearances. It's the Akashic field, right? It's maybe the dark matter. I don't know. I'm not an astrophysicist, but it's that ground from which all appearances arise. And so in that way, it's like a womb. So the womb of reality, the womb of totality, is a common epithet for Pragyaparamita as a goddess. But it's also veering into the feminine gender even before Tantra arises around the 5th century CE. Okay, so I said, Kevin, watch out. I'm going to get all like professorial tonight. Some of you might be into it. Some of you might not. That's okay. I don't do this every night, but I am a Dharma nerd, and I study language, Tibetan language, and a little bit of Sanskrit. So I like this stuff. Maybe you do too. So tadyata means thus it was said. Om, we know what Om means, I hope. That's the sound of the perfection of wisdom, the pregnant zero. If it were to make a sound, it would be Om. And then gate, gate. You could do this to signify that sound. Gate, gate, which means gone, gone, or having gone, having gone. Gate, gate. Where have you gone? You've gone to the other shore. You've gone to perfection. Para, gate. Para means, again, para, periphery, or deep, but expansive. So you could say like, sometimes I jokingly say this is like a Southern California surfer mantra, because you could say like, way gone. It's like, whoa, that wave was so deep, it was so big, it was like gone, way gone, like whew, way out there in the periphery. Paragate. And then parasamgate, it's like reinforcing what you just said earlier, right? It's building. Sam means same or total. So we could say totally way gone. Dude. Parasamgate. I was born in Central California. I resist saying Southern California because I have a judgment. I don't like it down there. I know. Where are you from, LA? San Diego. Yeah. All right. So, and then Bodhi is awakening or enlightenment. Svaha. So be it. So repeat after me. Tadyata. Om gate gate. Paragate. Parasamgate. Bodhi svaha. You can say swaha too. Either way is, it means so be it. So be it. Or sometimes they say thus it is, or may it be so. But the most accurate translation I've been able to uncover is so be it. And it comes at the end of mantras. It's like an exclamation point. So in the melody that I'm about to teach you, the tadyata, which is more correct Sanskrit, is pronounced a little different. It's pronounced teata, teata. It's more of the Tibetan sound of the mantra. And I could get nerdy on you a little bit, but in Tibetan, when an ah vowel is followed by a da suffix, it makes the sound like an a. So I'm wondering if the Tibetans saw that and sort of put their grammar into the Sanskrit. They don't do that a lot. They try not to do that, but I'm thinking that's what happened. So it's going to sound like teata, teata. Okay. So now we're going to sing it for a little bit. I learned this melody when I helped guide a trip to Bhutan in 2017, I think. It's a Bhutanese melody. It's so beautiful. We were in the monastery doing like a big puja, and they started singing this melody, and I was so taken by it that I pressed record on my phone and I captured it and then learned it. So now it's coming to you. So maybe listen the first round and then you can join in. We'll sing for a bit. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Join me. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Teata Om Gate gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisattva. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisattva. Deyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhisattva. And so let's now stand up for a little movement before we sit. Standing in front or on your mat is fine. Heels gently touching, toes turned out, right hand, left hand on your navel. Take a few breaths, breathing down into your feet. Letting your eyes rest at a comfortable angle towards the floor. Yes, if you have to pee, now is the time. Let the jaw relax. In fact, take a moment and look at me here. Take the pads of your fingers and place them right at the bottom of the top of the jaw there, right at the crease, cheekbone. And let the pads be flat and just the pressure be like the pressure of a nickel, not that strong. And then gently pressing, let the lower jaw go slack. Let the elbows soften down towards the feet. And just let that tension melt away. And feel the base of the skull softening. The neck and the shoulders relaxed. Muscles of the face soften. It's good for TMJ or jaw. Any kind of tension you hold in your jaw. Good. And then slowly begin to release the pressure, and naturally the fingertips will glide down the cheeks until they release. Yeah, and then see if you can maintain that feeling throughout the whole rest of the class, even throughout the rest of your life. Bring your hands to your navel for a few breaths. Now feel the breath beneath the palms. Soften the soles of the feet. And then release, with the out breath, release the hands. Step your right foot back behind you a little bit and put the pressure on the top of the toes and start to circle. 1, 2, the ankle outward. 5, 6, reach up through the crown of the head, navel draws back, lift the ribs a bit. 9, 10, and reverse. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. Other foot. And the focal point is very helpful with the eyes. And circle outward and around. 3, 4, 5. Really feel this loosen up, not just the toes and the ankle, but also the knee and the hip joint. 9, 10, and standing now on both feet, hip width distance apart. Release the head down. We'll turn the head 5 times to the right. 1, 2, the breath is even, the shoulders relaxed. Remember the jaw relaxation. 3, 4, and 5. Now reverse. 1. Trick here is while you're moving the head and the upper body, don't forget to bring the breath all the way down into the soles of the feet. Your awareness starts to get more diffuse within the whole field of the global body. 4. Last one. And 5. Coming to center, inhale to neutral again, shoulders forward, up, down, and back. 1, 2, 8 reps. 3, 4, 5. Good. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And now the hands interlaced in front of the face. Rotate the wrists. 1, 2, 3, double time. 4. Relax the ridge of the shoulders. Relax the face, the jaw. 9 and 10. And reverse. 1, 2, 3. Notice if the eyes are staring. Let them go soft. Almost hypnotized by your wrists moving in front of them. 9 and 10. Good. Release to the right. Spiral your arms. 1, 2. Let the head turn as you turn the spine. Front hand taps the shoulder. Back hand taps the lower ribs. Eight, 9, 10. Again. 10 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good. 8, 9, and 10. And then the arms come down, the hips pick up. So we're working our way down the body from top to bottom. 2. Now we're doing the hips. 3, 4. Stay within the sphere of your experience. Let the gaze be soft towards the floor. You may see somebody moving in front of you, but you're not focusing on them. If you need to look, you can look at me. But also practice, this is preparation for becoming still in seated practice. 9 and 10 and reverse. 1. Let the whole upper body go soft. That feeling through the jaw and the face translates through the neck and the chest, the shoulders, the back, the belly, hips and the legs. It's like you're on a rocking boat and you're just trying to be as relaxed as possible. Last one. And then coming around. Now, step the feet together, bend the knees, hands above the knees, and make circles with the knees. 1, 2, 3. Relax the shoulders. 5, 6. Keep the heels on the floor. All 4 corners of the feet are on the floor. And 10. Reverse. And 1. Good. 2, 3. Very nice. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Inhale. Let's do Sarpa, the wave. Inhale. And then exhale, bend the knees. Start to wave forward and back. 1, 2, 3, 4. Feel like you're seaweed in the ocean. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Inhale. Let it out with a big sigh. Inhale. Last time. Now we make fists and pat the shoulders. 2. Do 10. 3. Heavy fist. 4, 5. Pound the tension out of the shoulder. 7, 8, 9, Good. Inhale. Bow like a sheep. Two more. Inhale. Let it all hang out. Inhale. Good. Okay, now you're ready to meditate. Okay, so I am going to encourage you to listen to your body. Sit on the floor, the chair, cushion, whatever is appropriate for you, or lie down, because that's what's happening for me. I want to encourage people to feel free to be themselves. Find a comfortable seat. The main point with meditation is to have the spine aligned and straight. So whether you're horizontal or vertical, it actually doesn't matter. But you do want to be somewhat straight. Okay? Make sure you're warm, comfortable. I'm modeling taking care of your body because I have some back issues that should not hinder practice, right? We all are going to have stuff, whether you're ready for it or not. So it's good to know how to adapt. So I want to really encourage you all to listen to your body. You have full permission in this class to do what feels right for you. Okay, so now allow the eyes to close if they're not already. Take a few luxurious breaths and release tension with the out breath. Notice, did you gather tension in the jaw again? If you need to, you can take your hands again on the jaw if that felt good, or just feel that feeling again. And before we get too far into the practice, right away, the first step is to practice, or to even just be, not even to practice. Can you just be with what is right now? The quality of being. Now you've shifted into stillness. How does that feel? Setting yourself up to be as still as possible so that the pool of the mind can become limpid and clear. So make a commitment to yourself right now to only move if you absolutely have to. And if you do move, then it's slow, conscientious, mindful, meditative movement that doesn't break up the thread or the mala, the rosary of your mindfulness, moment to moment to moment. So now is the time to shed off any kind of assumption of what is and what isn't meditation. It's like a child coming with beginner's mind to a new endeavor, to something fresh. Can you come fresh, free of assumptions, impositions, and just be with yourself and let yourself be. You feel like you might be even drinking from the wellspring of the depth of your being. With each breath, you drop deeper and deeper into that source. And little ripples of the mind, sounds, even my voice might pull you this way and that. And just feel it like waves on the surface of a very deep, still ocean. They're just a part of the ocean. They're not a problem. They're not wrong. They're not an obstacle even. You can just allow yourself to be and to drop deeply beneath the surface, like a scuba diver going deeper. Dropping deeper and deeper until you settle in a buoyant way to the bottom of the ocean. Feel like you're meditating there, and you can breathe underwater. Different visions or memories, fish, different interesting, strange creatures might float by like thoughts in your mind. Instead of fixating on those appearances, you rest in the water. Feel that expansive experience of wetness and water. Like awareness. The quality of that awareness is clarity and emptiness. Just like the quality of water is wetness. You rest in that experience of awareness that pervades all those appearances. Rather than resting in the vantage point of thoughts, we rest in the broader experience, the oceanic awareness. Releasing distraction as you notice it and come back to that expansive experience. Can you drop right in there and rest? Release and return again and again. From time to time, check your posture. Is tension built up? Release it with the out breath. Or are you slouching? Gently lift through the spine, the chest buoyant, shoulders relaxing down the back. Face soft, the muscles behind and around the eyes are soft. And if you wish, you have the option now to gently open the eyes, gazing at a comfortable angle towards the floor. Or if you're familiar with sky gazing, you can turn the eyes up, but only if you've received that teaching. Otherwise, leave the eyes slightly hooded, gazing at the floor, and soften the eyes. Again, feel that you're resting from the vantage point of awareness that pervades thought rather than grasping or fused with the thoughts themselves. Lean back, relax into it. And somehow, with each out breath, releasing into presence and releasing into that deep, deep pragya, that deep knowing that you're already perfect as you are. Paramita. There's nowhere to go, nothing to fix. And in that completeness, you are everything and everything is you. Shunyata. The empty, interdependent experience of nature of which you are a part. Can you rest in that? When a thought arises, when doubt arises, confusion, whatever, fatigue, release it with the out breath and feel it dissolve back into the space from which it came, the space of the mind. Releasing the confusion, the tulwa, the illusory appearances like dreams, castles in the sky, mirage, an echo, phantoms, appearing yet empty. Plunge to the depths of your awareness and rest there. Release and return. Rest. When distracted, release and then return. And let the breathing be gentle, barely audible, unforced. Tadyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Recite this together 2 more times. Tadyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Tadyata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasam Gate Bodhi Svaha. Let the sound of the bell take you into an experience of emptiness. I can still hear it, but I figured you can't. I always think of Thich Nhat Hanh. Has anybody done retreat with him? Yeah, I hear him singing whenever I ring this bell. In Vietnamese, so beautiful. It's a whole practice. And he often recites in his tradition, the Zen tradition of Vietnam, the Heart Sutra in Vietnamese. You could find that online. You can find it on Spotify, actually. Thich Nhat Hanh chanting the Heart Sutra. It's beautiful. So, I really want to get through this, the rest of this Lojong Slogan tonight, number 14. So what I'd like to propose is that I dive right into it and then allow some time for Q&A and discussion after I've laid some ideas out, okay? And so you probably all have a sheet and you can keep that one if you want, or you can I use this with this, Katie? Is that okay? Bye-bye. Can you guys in the back see this board? Yes. Oh yeah, it works better. Okay. Did you say no? Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Because if you have a hard time seeing it, you're welcome to crowd up a little closer, you know. We don't bite up here. I don't bite. I don't know if you guys bite. There's some more vocabulary class. Because can somebody, while I'm writing this out, read the slogan, number 14, please? Loud, supported by your belly. Who wants to read it? Thanks, Kevin. Okay, you can. Okay, yeah, go for it.
I don't have my glasses here, so.
I'm sorry.
Seeing confusion is the four kayas, is unsurpassable shunyata protection.
Great, thank you. I'm running out of ink. I don't know. Are there more?
It might be that the native word is like wet.
Oh, okay. Okay. Sorry, I'm putting you to task. You know, I thought I normally don't write out all this stuff, but these are big words that are coming your way, and I want you to, like, you're totally not going to get it probably if you don't. My guess is that it's from the thing. That's all right. hope I didn't ruin the pen.
Okay, see if that works.
Okay.
If not, we'll get another one.
It's okay.
So much better.
Oh, yeah. It's okay. I'll just press harder. Oh my God. It might not even be worth doing. I can't. It's getting there. 4 kayas. Usually it's 3. Oh my God. Okay, so. Oh, it's looking good, Katie. What's the first one? The most absolute. Dharma. Kaya. Who knows what kaya means? Good. Sometimes it's nice to say dimension when we're talking about these, but it does literally mean body. That's nice. That was you, Ariane?
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Then the next, from the unmanifest becomes the kind of light and sound manifesting. So we're talking about like big picture stuff here, which is, who knows the next one? Sambhoga kaya. Do you know what that means? Whoever knows it, say it loud.
Rapture?
Close, actually. Yeah, it's complete enjoyment or rapture body. Yeah. Bhoga kaya. Body. Sam is same or complete. Bhoga is to enjoy. Kaya is form. So the complete enjoyment or I like rapture. The rapture body, it sounds like I don't know, like a band or something to me. Okay, then now we're moving from sound and energy into the more manifest realm, like our earth with the 5 elements. Do you know what that's called? Nirmana kaya. What does that mean? Manifestation or even illusory body. Writing looks like Nirmana kaya is like manifestation body. But then there's this 4th one that isn't always mentioned. And it's, who knows it? Does anybody know it? Okay. Svabhavakikaya. Can you say that? I had to look this up just to make sure I was saying it right. And I was, but I wasn't sure. Ki, ka, and then kaya. Ay, ay, ay. Svabhavika kaya. Svabhavika kaya. And the Tibetan is helped me with this. Svabhava. Svabhava, who knows what svabhava means? Self. It means like self. Like the Buddha taught that there's no essence. It means essence. And the Buddha taught there's no inherently existing essence. Svabhava. That's the vocabulary word for that. And I guess, I'm not a Sanskritist. I studied a semester of Sanskrit, or 2 semesters of Sanskrit. So I'm an intermediate Sanskritist, which I barely made it through by the hair of my chinny chin chin, but I do know Tibetan better. And the Tibetan is ngowo ni, which essentially is this. Ngowo is essence. Ngowo. Nyit is probably svabhavika. Maybe it's svabhavi ika. Somehow ika. I think it can also mean, I don't know, but it means little. Does anybody in here know Sanskrit? Please correct me if I'm wrong. And that's nyit means ness. So I don't know. This must be ness. And then ku is the word in Tibetan. Ku means ku. Okay, too much information. TMI. All right, so could you read the slogan again?
Seeing confusion as the 4 kayas is unsurpassable shunyata protection.
Okay, so for my goal, we've talked a lot about emptiness in this class already. So my goal is to lay out these 4 kayas. And I'm going to do that in a couple different ways. I'm going to define them, and then I'm going to give you a natural metaphor, because that's probably what you're going to remember. That's what I remember always. Now, remember last week we talked about confusion as that trulwa, the paper tiger, right? It's the things that appear, but they're empty, they're not real. And they seem really scary when you first see them, but then under deeper analysis, you realize, oh, they're like paper tigers. They're illusory. They don't really exist, like thoughts, fears, hopes, and so on. So we see confusion as the four kayas. And Ariana, you touched on this last week. And I remember I kind of missed that part of your question, but I was thinking about you this week because something you said was spot on. Because when we rest in awareness, or when we let go of the hope and fear and we rest, and I'm paraphrasing you, I don't know if you exactly meant this or said this, but like everything, hope and fear, thoughts, terror, our delusion, our confusion is actually just in its essence the four kayas, which are actually expressions of Buddha mind. Like Buddha, think of Buddha mind as the sun. Like your Buddha mind, your Buddha nature, it's like the sun. And then the rays of the sun emanate out, right? So the sun naturally emanates out the rays. We've talked about this. That would be the next level down of like manifestation of the mind. So if Buddha mind is Dharmakaya, or the absolute dimension or absolute truth body, like Buddha mind, the next level down into manifestation is through light and energy. And that's Sambhogakaya. It's interesting because it's very blissful. It's rapturous. It's a formless dimension of just very subtle energy. That's where the deities abide, like Taras, Avalokiteshvara. They're all Sambhogakaya beings. And when your veils are thin, you can experience them. You can see them. You can become them. You realize you are that you are not just flesh and bone, you're energy. And it's blissful. And then, so that the natural metaphor is the sun, I'm going right into it. The sun, Dharmakaya, its rays, Sambhogakaya. Then the warmth of the sun is Nirmanakaya, meaning it's how we feel as embodied beings when we feel the warmth of the sun rays. It's warm. And that is compassion. So Nirmanakaya is the aspect of Buddha mind that is unceasingly manifesting. And how does it manifest? As love, as compassion. That's the true nature. That's the expression of God, right? Or the Great Mother, or Buddha nature, however you want to define it. And so then Svabhavikakaya is the kind of union of all of those and the transcendence of them. It's like the fourth time beyond the three. It's everything, and then it goes beyond it. So when I was thinking of class tonight in the natural metaphor, if we've got the sun, Dharmakaya, its rays, Sambhogakaya, and then the warmth of the rays, Nirmanakaya, then what is Svabhavikakaya? It's the space within which everything, yeah? The space, it's space. It's that thing that transcends matter, time. It's maybe space beyond space, right? It's that dimensionless dimension that transcends and includes all of the prior three. So a couple more things about that. What's interesting is this notion of four kayas as an expression of Buddha mind, which is your true nature. We all have Buddha nature within us. First arose within the revelations that came to Asanga by the Bodhisattva Maitreya, who is said to be the future Buddha, is Maitreya. And Maitri, does that sound familiar to some of you? Maitri, metta, love, loving kindness. So he's the love Buddha, like the love boat. He's the love Buddha. And he's shown depicted as seated, right, in a chair. So he's the future kind of modern Buddha, love and He can't sit in lotus anymore because he sat in chairs too much, okay, like us in the West. All right. And so that, like, for example, the Diamond Sutra is an example of where these 4 kayas are explained within those sutras of the 3rd turning of the wheel, they say, which is like the 3rd major phase of teachings within the Buddhism. And so that's where the root of these teachings, you're not going to find these in early Theravada teaching. This is more Mahayana stuff, great vehicle stuff. Yeah. Which is when those Maitreya Sutras arose. So if you, again, Kaya means body or dimension, Dharma is truth, right? But also sometimes explained as like the absolute body, like that is the unmanifest. And then Sambhogakaya is the complete enjoyment body. Nirmanakaya is the emanation or illusory body. I like the way Lama Tsotra, and then Svabhavikakaya is it's like the essence itself body, you could say. Which is interesting because it seems like it's reifying essence, which is what the Buddha took away, didn't do. He said there is no essence. And so did the Mahayana Sutras, and Tantra says that's all the teaching of Prajnaparamita is of emptiness, empty of essential nature, empty of intrinsically existing qualities in and of themselves, right? So I think that we could probably interpret this. We need to go further into this to see what they really mean, because they're not going back to reifying the soul or anything like that. That's not what Svabhavikakaya means. It means like including, but also transcending labels, transcending even these 3 experiences. And this is big stuff. You're not going to get it all in a 15-minute talk, that's for sure. It's a theme that you can keep coming back to in your practice. The one way that Lama Tsoltram describes these 3 kayas is really the main focus, usually, of teachings. And she uses the analogy of water. She said that Dharmakaya is like steam, Sambhogakaya is like water, and then Nirmanakaya is like ice. So it's all the same material. It's not like we're going to different places. They're all different aspects of water in that example, whereas these are all different aspects of your Buddha nature. It's how Buddha nature manifests, the 3 kayas, and then the 4th. She would say that, maybe Christ was a Nirmanakaya, a manifestation of God or the absolute, you could say. Jesus said, I am the Son of God. He may have meant that he was made of God, with us, but not of us. So there might be some correspondence there. In the essence of Dharmakaya, its essence is empty. So absolute nature of Buddha nature of mind, of our minds, of your consciousness, the essence is empty. There's nowhere you can actually like pinpoint it, say, oh, that's the nugget of me-ness right there. And the beautiful quotation that I think really conveys the flavor of this is from a great Indian Buddhist teacher named Asanga. And he said that emptiness is an aesthetic continuum with all possibilities. An aesthetic continuum with all possibilities. Does that give you a sense, a little bit more of a hook in to experiencing what we tap into when we have a direct realization of emptiness, of our own true nature? And where is emptiness primarily taught? In the Mahayana Sutras of Prajnaparamita. Prajnaparamita Sutras, long, short versions. The shortest is the syllable Ah, A-H. That's one of her bija mantras. And it's like that ultimate release into presence, right? Ultimate release into true nature. Ah, say it. Let's inhale. And then release as you say, ah. That's called the Pragyaparamita Sutra in one syllable. Then the next one is Heart Sutra. That's pretty short, but not the shortest. And then you have the Pragyaparamita Sutra, and 8,000 lines. That's said to be the original one. There's 10,000 lines, 20,000 lines, 100,000 lines. A lot of different versions, but they're all teaching on emptiness. So tonight's the theme is emptiness, but then how do we connect with it? And so emptiness as protection, because when we understand emptiness, there is no birth, no death. That suffering is less likely to occur because we're not reifying everything. When I say reify, I mean solidifying everything. Oh, I'm not good enough, or, they're so bad. Always sort of this dualistic reification causes a lot of suffering. So if we can rest in emptiness and see even confusion as manifestations of the four kayas, the sun, its rays, the warmth of the rays, and the space within which all of that appears, then we experience shunyata, the unsurpassable shunyata protection. It's a big one. That's why I took 2. I want to take 3 classes, but I think we need to move on, but this is a deep one. You could ponder this for a long time. The 4 kaya is big. It's a big teaching. I'm giving you just the tip of the iceberg here. There's plenty of places you can read more about it. Lots of books. Mahayana Buddhism, Diamond Sutra, Wikipedia. Okay, so we have some time now. So I just dumped a lot of hopefully juicy stuff on you. And how does that feel? Questions about, let's keep bringing the questions back to practice, but also back to this slogan, which is seeing confusion as the 4 kayas is unsurpassable shunyata protection. So let's chew on that for a little bit. What does that mean? Yeah.
I'm finding myself a little confused about the kayas and the role they serve, whether there's something descriptive like the links of dependent origination, like this is how experience arises, or whether these are meant to sort of describe states, jhanas, or if this is something like manifestations of, I guess manifestations of emptiness to me feels like dependent origination, so I'm a little confused sort of where this fits in.
You think of these as ways of describing how Buddha nature manifests. So that it's different than the 12 links in that way. 12 links describe the cycle of samsara, becoming, and birth and death and everything in between. Whereas this is, we're honing in on sort of more kind of like high level stuff, which is the highest level, which is Buddhahood, Buddha nature. And so in the Mahayana era of these sutras, they came to Asanga when he did these austerities in a cave, and Maitreya appeared to him and downloaded all these really powerful teachings. It's beautiful stuff, psychedelic stuff. The kayas become a part of the story of how we understand our own true nature, our own Buddha nature, you could say. And so you see them in practice texts, all sorts of things like, may all appearances arise as the 3 or 4 kayas. Having purified all delusions, may I realize Buddha nature as the 4 kayas. So it's a way of describing how we can almost like retrace the steps back to Buddha nature, Dharmakaya, and how we can understand these dimensions. I like to call them dimensions, but it's a loose translation. In the same way, like water can manifest in different states of solidity, Buddha nature can manifest as different states of solidity, different experiential states.
So it's almost like this is a really bad metaphor, but like jhanas for emptiness.
Yeah. So
basically, states you could like meditate upon, practice, get in contact with your manakaya, sort of work with your own understanding of Nirmanakaya
Mhm. Mhm.
as one of the ways emptiness manifesting. Is that?
I don't know if it, so in the Tibetan tradition, they don't go a lot into jhanas, so I'm not an expert in that. So people who have done more Vipassana stuff will be more familiar with jhana. It's cool. I'd love to go deeper into it. I just haven't had the time. So I don't know if I could make a direct correlation. Maybe somebody else in this room has more experience with that or could draw a link there.
It seems to me that that would relate most to the Sambhogakaya, because jhanas are all about the bliss and the sort of
Joy. And,
various factors of jhana, are, like bliss and sukha and versus pithy, I don't know.
yeah, I don't know if it's going to fit perfectly. I mean, are the jhana, they're states getting you to your Buddhahood, right? They're nirvana. They're states that you pass through to achieve.
Yeah, in some traditions.
In some traditions, yeah.
They're deep absorptive states that you pass through with that can lead towards cessations or access to nirvana or stuff like that, or don't.
Yeah, I would let's maybe not try to overlay those until we know more about, until I know. When I say we, I mean, I know more about that. I don't know. I mean, I'm inclined to say no, but then there's probably something really cool and beautiful in that there that you're touching in on. So I don't want to say either way. Yeah. Anyone else? Yes.
What is shunyata protection?
Right. So shunyata protection, I want to read a quote. Shunyata protection. So shunyata is emptiness, and protection is protection, right? So in some texts it says like the circle of protection. Sometimes in tantric sadhana, you will imagine that you're surrounded by a protection, a tent of light as a protection so that you can go deep into your practice. And sometimes shunyata protection is an aspect of that. But here what they're saying is more of when you understand emptiness itself, actually. Emptiness itself is protective. When we understand emptiness, we are protected. They actually say if you recite the Prajnaparamita mantra, you will be protected by light. Golden light will surround you. So I used to do it in the car all the time. I forgot I should do it again. So it's also an extension of like when you're resting in that, when you understand that, no subject, no object, that duality is illusory, when you understand that just reifying thoughts and feelings and emotions and projections are illusory, right? Confusion. When you understand that, it's a form of protection against suffering. But you could say even from death, because if you really understand shunyata, you understand nobody dies and nobody's born, because we are consciousness that transcends birth and death, coming and going, short and long, black and white, duality. Duality is all within samsara. Nirvana is being free of duality. So I also understand that in that way. If you're resting in emptiness, you don't need protection cords and to do the protector prayers. There's all these protector, more shamanic practices like in Tibetan Buddhism. But they say if you're a true practitioner, you don't need any of that stuff because you're not afraid of death, because you understand the nature of your own mind, Buddha nature. That's pretty advanced stuff. I'm not saying you should walk out of here feeling like, yeah, I'm protected. But it is that, like shunyata itself has a protective quality because it protects us from suffering, but also on an ultimate level from, I think that when we die, we're going to have to understand shunyata, whether we want to or not, right? Because we're letting go. And then we realize that we're actually a lot more than we thought we were. And that death is actually probably really blissful. And like in Buddhism, they say, prepare for death, like meditate so that you feel, you welcome that when it comes, of course. When your time is up, naturally. When the karmas have exhausted themselves to be in this body, can you let go? That's an ultimate letting go. And that's also shunyata. Letting go into that expansive continuum of all possibilities. Okay? Yeah, good start at least, maybe. We could chew on that. Yeah. Did you raise your hand?
Yeah.
Oh, you raised your hand. Yes.
Yeah, I was curious about how you translated Paramita earlier.
Yeah.
And you said it's the other shore, or?
Yes.
So is perfection as a translation, are they interchangeable, or I'm wondering, is there other or more figurative?
It's like perfection was a bad translation that stuck a long time ago.
Okay, got it, yeah. And that's the same. as
They
the
interpreted, I don't know if it
Sangha.
was Edward Kanza, like early scholars in Mahayana literature who were translating these texts. They understood, oh yeah, paramita means gone to the other shore, like we fully arrived. There's nothing else to do, nowhere left to go. And what is that? Oh, that's perfection. So that's why it became pragyaparamita became perfection of wisdom, the 6 perfections. So pragyaparamita is the 6th perfection. And it's the bridge into absolute bodhicitta. So the 6 perfections are teachings and practices within relative bodhicitta. We've talked about this a long time ago, remember? Maybe some of you weren't here. It's okay. It's totally fine if you don't remember. But the pragyaparamita is that bridge to the absolute bodhicitta, which is, again, Buddha nature, Dharmakaya, all synonyms. Pragyaparamita, synonym, perfection of wisdom, gone to the other shore, deep knowing of going to the other shore. I mean, but that's a mouthful. Yeah.
And do you think that's applicable to the Pali word parami? Which is
I
the same
don't-
word on Pali.
Probably, but I don't know Pali very well. But Pali is often a bit more kind of less ornate sounding than Sanskrit, and usually it's pretty easy to decipher. But where is parame used?
Well, so you have the 10 parami, which is like the
Yeah.
same parami that.
Yeah,
So I imagine it's the same, but
Yeah.
I haven't heard that before.
probably is. I would venture to say yes, because there are 10 paramitas in Sanskrit too. Pali is an older language. Sanskrit developed later. Some people say mistakenly that Buddha spoke Pali, but he didn't. He spoke many different languages, and it's not his indigenous language of the Shakya clan. It was something else. It was I can't remember what that language is right now. It starts with an M. But Pali was the language that his sutras, his oral teachings were written down in 500 years after he died. So it's like the more you learn, the more you realize you don't know, So I try to be very humble with all this stuff. Not even I, that sounds lame. But I'm trying to model humility here. Like I know a little bit, but that I have a great appreciation for why am I up here teaching? There's so much I don't know. It's such a vast, big topic. It's lifetimes and lifetimes of study and practice. So let's be humble, and we can ask, we can explore, but also we can be like, I don't know, right? I don't know. Yes.
I found myself drawn to the word confusion.
Yes.
And so I was curious about how you see that.
Yeah, good question. You weren't here last night. So last week, I didn't have enough time to unpack the whole slogan here, so we just focused on that. And so it's okay. There were other people who weren't here last week also. So it's a good question. So confusion, the term is tulwa or tulpa sometimes. Tulwa in Tibetan. I don't know what it is in Sanskrit actually. But it means illusion, illusory appearances, confusion. Like if you say, oh, I was confused, trulayin, like I was confused. But also trulwa can be like that which it's very common in Dzogchen to say, see all delusive appearances, trulwa, or trulnang appearances, nangwa. See all delusive appearances as expressions of the Dharmakaya. That is getting at what we're talking about here. So they're not intrinsically bad or good. And so that's what this is saying, is see everything. The mirages, the dreams, the emotions, the thoughts, the castles in the sky. These are all common metaphors for delusions, as expressions of the absolute dimension, or Dharmakaya, or the 4 kayas here. Does that help? Yeah, so it's a very specific vocabulary word. So I'm glad you asked that. Because it's not just like confusion. It is delusive appearance. It's trulnang. It's a very important Dharma vocabulary word. And it's basically like everything we experience in the world right now. Like even like this is all delusive appearances. Doesn't mean it's bad. It's just I look so solid, but I'm actually empty. I'm 99.99% space. So I'm a trulnang. I'm trulnanging right now. I'm a conjurer. Okay, let's dedicate the merit. Thank you, everybody. Let's dedicate the illusory merit that we illusory beings generated in this illusory building called with the alembic. For the benefit of all beings. We're going to walk through the world this week, seeing it all as a dream, yeah? Expressions of the four kayas, and that will be our emptiness protection. Try that on. And we'll see you next week for Feeding Your Demons. 5-step practice of working with your phantoms, your illusory thoughts that you take so real, hold so real. We work with it and befriend them and learn from them. So come and bring a friend. We do it every, 6 to 8 weeks. We do a Feeding Your Demons night. Don't be afraid, it's fun. Or at least it's helpful. Sometimes healing isn't always fun, but that's okay. Same time, same place, same time. Yeah, always 7 to 8:30. Yeah. Katie.
2 things I forgot at the beginning.
Yeah.
One, for the tap people, there's no tap this week.
Oh.
Do not show up. Do not deconstruct yourself. Do not deconstruct anyone else. This week, next week, no tap. He's back on the 21st. And then Alana wants to tell us about something that's starting on Monday.
Alana.
Yay! So some of you may have been here when Jenny Carbell was subbing here for Chandra.
Yes.
She's coming back starting next week on Monday for the following 4 Mondays until October 2nd, teaching on the 4 measurables. So Mondays at 7.
Yep.
Usual time. It's going to be super awesome. I hope
That's great. Yeah, if you can, come and support Jenny. She's an old friend of mine. She's wonderful. Really good. And she's coming over from the city. No small trek. Okay, thanks everybody. Have a good night and enjoy your tea out there with new and old friends. Build sangha, make connections. And if you want to know what the alembic is, you can ask anybody who knows what the alembic is, especially Katie.